Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host GamerK, and we are in the month of February now, and it's time for a new set of videos. Most of them have romantic settings because, why would I not take the opportunity of February and do videos that are kind of romantic, but somewhat, but it's not the main focus. And I just got better from a week of a cold, so excuse the cough. This week's video is of Quantic Dreams. Quantic Dreams has been a little bit of a hidden gem in terms of games, especially storytelling games. And years ago, last year in February, if I'm remembering correctly, I went over their crime thriller series, Heavy Rain. But now I'm taking over their supernatural entity game, Beyond Two Souls. And this game, it's got, holy crap, it's got some good things in it. It's got some obvious problems in it, but at the same time, let's dive into this game and see what makes it good and what makes it kind of okay. So to start off, this game came out in 2013, and much like Heavy Rain, it was one of my first adult-ish games that had adult subject matter. So yeah, I got a lot of that in this game. Beyond Two Souls takes place in a supernatural world. Well, not a supernatural world, but the way I can describe it is Quantic Dreams' three main games that I really love, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human, all kind of have their own kind of genre, kind of like a movie genre a little bit. Heavy Rain had the crime thriller genre. This one has the supernatural elements, and the other one will have sci-fi. But I'll get one to that when I get to it. The one thing I will admit in this game is that for the characters of the motion capture, they got two brilliant actors to become the characters, playing the role of our hero Jody Holmes. We have the absolutely talented Elliot Page, and yeah, in this game, Elliot does a fantastic job portraying the character. And yeah, I know this was before he was Elliot Page, but I don't care. The dude is amazing. His acting is phenomenal, so I'm still giving props. And also playing the, I don't really know how to say this, but pseudo villain of the game, because there's no real villain of it all. We have goddamn Willem Dafoe. Okay, Willem Dafoe, what is it with you being the villain? Seriously. From Goblin to... Oh my god, I forgot he was in that. Oh my god. Okay, say what you guys want about the live-action Death Note movie. Dafoe gave a damn good, amazing job as Ryuk. Can we all agree on that? So this game is basically the constant point-and-click adventure of world exploring, kind of, in chapters and throughout. And much like Quantic Dreams' Heavy Rain, decisions you make in this game will kind of affect each chapter and each story, which I do love. And the way they go about it is very unique in its, I don't want to say it's simplicity, but at the same time, it's overall shock value. Because unlike Heavy Rain, where we go through the events of the story bit by each character, in this one, we're going through Jody's life, kind of back and forth a little bit, to when she was a little kid, to when she's an adult, to back to being a teenager, to back being a kid, to back being adult. And it kind of throws us off a little bit in order to kind of, I don't know, it kind of keeps the game a little fresh, because if we play throughout everything, we kind of understand everything. Which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, it just needs a little bit more, if I'm being all honest. And plus, some of the chapters are extremely short or extremely long. So major points of the story is Jodie has this supernatural entity connected to her named Aiden or Aiden. I prefer Aiden. It sounds a lot better, and that's what's mostly said a lot. And throughout most of her life, she has been living with Defoe, who is a scientist who works for an agency who tries to uncover, like, the supernatural world, or this other world or something, where it's a supernatural world. I don't really understand it that much, because that's one negative thing about this game. As much as it kind of tries to immerse ourselves within this story and the world, this entire other world that we're talking about barely comes into play half the time, and it's not even a focal point until the final chapter, which again feels but overall but that's one small gripe right now. A big thing for me that I like is going through the individual chapters of different stages of Jodie's life. And I do love it. I really, really do. And give it to Elliot. He gives a goddamn great performance in the acting here. And it's exceptionally well done. It's top tier. Another cool thing about this game is it's one of the few games where there's a co-op mode where one person will control Jodie and the other person will control Aiden. Whereas if you're playing solo, you'll have to switch a mode in order to be Aiden, where you'll be able to go through walls and kind of channel objects, move things around, kind of like a poltergeist a little bit, just a bit. And as we're shown as Aiden, we see the kind of cord that is connecting him to Jodie, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy the kind of how it's not a ghost that's possessing her, but more like an entity that works with her, and she's the only one who can hear what he's saying and everything and see him. And I do enjoy that, because if everyone could see Aiden, it would kind of take the whole supernatural thing, and it would be like if everyone could see it's almost like if it was Casper the ghost and everything, and everyone could see him. It takes away from the enjoyment of the supernatural element. So I'm happy they didn't do that. Let's see. So yeah, the game is, of course, choice-driven, where all your choices kind of affect overall objectives in the game. And being Quantic Dream, there are a lot of trophies for you to go back each chapter and try to do the opposite evil thing. It works. There's trophies for, let's see, during the party to teach the teens a lesson after they did something really terrible to Jodie, and you can either let them off the hook, or you can kind of make them pay. And as much as I hate bullies, I obviously don't end up letting them in the fire. I'll always let them out. Kind of spoilers a little bit. You also get to, later on in the game, there's the Perfect Lover trophy, where you do a date night where you got to clean up, you got to take a shower, put on the elegant dress, cook dinner, and it all goes good. And I do love a date chapter, because I'm a sucker for good romance. I really am. And I'm just saying this, Quantic Dream, if this ever finds its way to any of your people, you need to do a romance-themed game. Please. As much as I love the romance that you do in all 3 games, I'm hungry for a full game of the romance genre. I'm just saying. However, there is a hiccup with this trophy. In a previous chapter where Jody tries to sneak out of the facility by using Aiden, if you allow Jody to exit and go to the bar, something kind of happens and it will kind of turn off the heat of the trophy where you sleep with the guy who you kind of like. It will completely shut it down. So if you're playing Beyond Two Souls and you're at the teenage section, make sure Jody gets caught and not escape, because it's going to completely ruin the trophy. I'm just saying. And we see Jody's life go from being not experimented on, but trying to understand Aiden and the other world. And we see her becoming a teenager, to a young adult, to joining the CIA or an agency and becoming an agent, from being on the run. Because turns out during a excruciatingly long frickin' mission, we find out, oh my God, we were the assholes the whole time. Yeah, big shock. And Jody goes rogue and leads to a bunch of different other bunch of other characters, which are kind of, I want to say, cut and dry. Like, they appear and then they disappear almost without coming back, which kind of sucks. And also, in a majority of ways, there are times when you can either choose to let a character die or you can save them. And there is an achievement for saving every character possible. For example, in the Navajo chapter, right before you go to fight the giant sand monster, yes, there's a giant sand monster. Yes, I'm serious. I don't know. Take it up with them. Before you go into this and outside, go to the back room and see the father of the 2 guys who've been helping you, and heal him with Aiden. Do the same thing when you're in the homeless chapter and you're helping the 3 people get well. One with his leg, one with the woman's pregnancy, and channeling the dude's dead wife. Oh yeah, you can channel dead people in this in order to kind of see into their into what happened. And you can also do the same thing with lingering spirits that are around people. In one chapter, when Jody's a child, Willem Dafoe got a phone call that his wife and daughter died in a car crash, and their spirits have been roaming over him. Gee, you can guess where that's going to be going in this story, huh? Now, overall, the gameplay is very cut and paste, kind of. Like, it's QTE, it's point and click, it's exploration, it's figuring out what choices to do. Let's see. And there are so many other trophies to do in this game, too. Now, I'm praising this game a lot. I am. Because it's a great, amazing game. But if I'm being fully honest, okay, yeah, I loved this game when it first came out and when I first beat it, because I really enjoyed it. Because I did this game because anytime I got a new game, I did not watch it on YouTube. I didn't do anything. I just played the game and let my choices speak for my first experience. And then after about months later, I'll replay it and do something else and try to do better. But as much as I like Beyond Two Souls, there are a lot And I do mean a lot of hiccups that come with this game. For one thing, it just feels like there's so many different ideas going on in this game that they try to connect, but at the same time, but in reality, it's more like a hodgepodge done by throwing in every different ingredient in the pot, expecting it to be delicious. Where it is, but it just doesn't feel cohesive enough, if I'm making an analogy there. Like, we've got the supernatural entity with Aiden, which helps out a lot in the story, and I do enjoy the story of it. We have Jodie's real mother, who we find her later near the end. Jodie's old friend from the agency who actually gave a shit about her, who was an employee, and not that creepy way. There's the homeless people. There's the people in the Navajo chapter who are there for one chapter, and I barely remember half of it, except for the giant sand monster boss fight. That was absolutely freaking awesome. Here's an image of it. Okay. There's being an agent in the CIA. There's doing the mission that we do something really shitty and we are obviously the villains, and then Jodie goes rogue and then she ends up homeless, and then we get back and then there's a mission where we have to shut down a reactor that was opening a portal to the other world and letting the entities out. I mean, did they steal from Ghostbusters? Did they? Because it feels like a little bit like that. And then we have to go to this top secret base and infiltrate the base and destroy it. And that's in the Arctic. And I don't know anymore. And then there's Defoe's character going absolute crazy by trapping his wife and daughter's spirits, hoping to reconnect with them. And after we channel them, they're in pain and they're being destroyed, but he doesn't care. And then he betrays us near the end. And then his fate is decided whether we can talk some sense in him or not. So yeah, we go throughout all of this, and yet the game still doesn't answer any questions. Because the other world doesn't even explain itself. We barely understand it ourselves half the time. And there's a part where, near the end, where we think Aiden is gone, but he really isn't. And I'm gonna not spoil Aiden's origins or anything, because if people want to play the game. Oh my god, I've been talking about this for almost, I don't know how long, but it feels like I'm talking about forever. Again, everything in this game, as great as it is, and as amazing as the characters are, the story and the overall world as a whole, all the chapters, it feels like it's 5 different games with a different feel. And quite honestly, it's... Looking this up for this review, I can barely follow what was going on, because and people think Kingdom Hearts and One Piece have a variety of plot points. This game, for some reason, doesn't have a plot point. Even the multiple endings you choose, either to live your life, go to the other world, do whatever, be with whoever you want. I mean, there's only 2 love interests in this, and the CIA guy is a whole lot better. Everything in this game feels like it was thrown in. And yeah, it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of it, but it takes away from the overall experience. The endings and the overall things about it are ambiguous at best. I mean, okay, if you're building a series, a franchise with multiple games, ambiguity is okay because you can kind of answer questions like that in the next game. You can address them or not, but some things need to be addressed. In Beyond Two Souls, nothing is explained. Nothing is freaking explained at all. And that's a big gripe for me because as a gamer, I need to understand the story. I need to understand the context, the world, the overall reasoning for what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm just running like an idiot with knowing nothing to do, kind of like a Fortnite player. But yeah, everything I've stated is a reason why, as good as it is, it's not my favorite Quantic Dreams game. Characters are good, especially the main two, which are Defoe and Paige. The chapters do give you a sense of build-up for what's going to happen. The choices that are made are actually pretty well done. The gameplay is obviously very cinematic, and it's beautiful to look at. But it's one of those problems that, as beautiful as the overall picture is, underneath, there's just a colossal mess. Like, it's one of those paintings where it looks great from afar, but as you get so close to it, you start to notice the inconsistent details. Like, it's great from afar, but close up you see the big issues. Now, I'm not saying it's not an amazing, I'm saying it's not a fantastic game, but it is a great game from Quantic Dreams. But there are just a lot better story games out there. But it's enjoyable enough that when you want to play it the first time, you get the sense of it. And if you're an achievement hunter, you're going to be spending a lot of hours replaying chapters, doing all the trophies. So that's something. So, as much, right. I almost usually forget this stuff. The whole game as a whole takes about 10.5 hours to complete. If you're going for a completionist, which is all the trophies, you're looking about 28 hours apiece. 28 hours for the entire trophy list. Because there's not that much collectibles in this game. There's not that much side stuff to do because it's basically a story-based game. So yeah, this confusing paranormal mess is okay. Like, it's great. It's not terrible. It's not fantastic. It's, you know what? GamerK's final verdict for Beyond Two Souls is an average, slightly okay 7 out of 10. If I didn't already know what Quantic Dreams was about and what they were capable of, this game would have been an 8 alone. But after I dig so much into the whole thing, it does have a overabundance of having too much. In a game like this, if they were to stick to like maybe one big storyline and maybe have someone on the inside trying to release the entities from the other world in order to kind of just be one of those, we have to destroy the world in order to remake it kind of thing, that I would buy. But there's no villain. Okay, there is a villain, but it's more like trying to do a good thing by doing the wrong thing kind of thing, that whole thing. And everything else piled on top of it, it's just hard to swallow. It's hard to swallow, so. And that's my review of Beyond Two Souls. What are your opinions? Give me a like, comment, subscribe down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And join me next week, where after Valentine's Day, we're going to get a sit down with some lovely ladies from the happiest place on earth. This is GamerK, logging out.